As a political foundation working for democratization, free media as the so-called fourth pillar of democracy is of course especially important. But how does modern media look like in the age of globalization, and here, especially in our region, in the age of European integration? This is why it's very important from our perspective that young people, young journalists from different countries not only exchange their perspectives, but also become aware that there are perspectives that are going beyond national frames.
Okay, very briefly, what Solidarity Academy Baltic Sea Youth Dialogue is about. It's about networking, about supporting young journalists all around the Baltic Sea region. It's about giving them a chance to meet new tools, opportunities to develop themselves. And it's about, the most important thing is about them. So the very ambitious people, and I'm looking forward to cooperating with them in the future.
This year the Solidarity Academy had a second name, also Baltic Sea Youth Dialogue, because this time we decided to focus on the Baltic Sea region. And the participants came from the states that are located around the sea, but also from such countries like Italy or Ukraine, which are the observer states of the Council of the Baltic Sea States, which was a partner of this edition.
Show me the can. Show the victory.
And now we have a workshop which is going to be combined with the exhibition. Because as I told you yesterday, we're thinking what is better, the exhibition first or the workshop first, and we decided to combine it. And we decided not to focus just on the Polish road to freedom, but about different perspectives, and with the main theme of totalitarianism. That's why we called the workshop Out of Totalitarian Trap, the different in the Baltic Sea region.
The word solidarity lost its meaning because in the beginning of 90s it was a very strong word, but nowadays solidarity does not have any particular meaning. Maybe the most memorable thing here for me is the caps, the casks of these guys, workers in this museum. I mean, workers change the wheel of history here in Poland, and one day I would like to see my country is free as Poland.
So first of all, the topic that we are discussing is the Baltic Sea region. And first of all, we need to understand what the Baltic Sea region is.
So in this workshop we learned a lot about the background of this area, about the Baltic Sea region, how is it defined exactly, and what I learned the most, or what was the most interesting for me, is that this Baltic Sea region, there is no exact definition for it. And it's somehow, you know, you see it in nearly every field of research you face, that it's not that easy as it looks at the first time you see it. And here it was kind of much more interesting, because I thought it's kind of easy, but in the end it turned out not to be so easy. And we also touched very interesting question about identity, about common projects, infrastructure, education, and so on.
So, good morning everybody. As Catherine mentioned, my name is Adam Reichert. I'm the editor-in-chief of New Eastern Europe, and the first gift I have for all of you is a copy of the magazine. This is our most recent. Please take one, pass it down.
So the workshop that I run at Solidarity Academy is looking at how journalists should see the perspective of editors. I present the role of an editor. We discuss the different perspectives, the challenges and the dilemmas of the editor, and actually work with participants, many of whom are writers or journalists themselves, and have them sit in the place of an editor and look at text. After going through the workshop, we do a practical exercise on how editing a text, what are the different dilemmas and issues that we have to deal with.
Well, we have just one word about it. Pizza. There's a lot of information, a lot of facts, a lot of things.
Pieces of pizza.
Yeah, just one.
I like it, pizza.
Leads us and one.
And partly wrong.
Partly wrong, yeah. Well, these 48 hours are just like a week for me, indeed, because it's very tight. I mean, the seminars, the workshops. It's very. There's a lot of interesting information, a lot of views, a lot of expressions. Different people just expressing themselves, their views. It's very interesting to hear. It's very interesting to participate. I'm not to be frank, I'm not an interactive person. I like to sit down. I like to analyze, to write, I don't know. I'm a historian. Well, prefer to me is to dealing with the text. But here, I do really love interacting with the people. I do really love thinking, questioning, answering, and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, but let's just look it up. So I've got 2 bookmarks right now. How many bookmarks?
The urban game today was a kind of a team building exercise in that the participants of the Solidarity Academy this week were split into groups of about 4 or 3 people, and they had to fulfill several assignments related to the history or the architecture of Gdańsk. So today I went together with an Icelandic journalist, a Polish journalist from Katowice, and a journalist from Italy. We went together to, for instance, discover the story behind the ruins that are still can still be found on one of the islands in the city. And by surveying locals, we kind of figured it out. So that was interesting. And we also got a glimpse of the future of Gdańsk, which is interesting because the old meets the new very much. You can see the old Hansa buildings that are still there, or actually again there because they have been rebuilt after the war. There are, as I said, ruins that are remnants from the bombings that Gdańsk suffered, and there are, for instance, the big Soviet flats that you surely know what they look like. During the urban games, we got to see all these different sites, all these different faces that Gdańsk has for one day, and I can recommend it.
Gdańszczanin. Gdańszczanin.
Gdańszczanin.
Oh yeah, it's good.
It is dialogue. We're doing the workshops, we're doing this and that, but we are having a conversation. So yeah, I think it's an intense dialogue, an interesting one, and I'm learning a lot. And what I really like about it is that this is the blend, like the mixing pot of people that we have here, is that it's one that I'm not used to. I don't know many people from Russia, Ukraine, some people from Poland, yes, but Siberia, like from places that I don't know much about. And I think there's a wide gap in a way between us. We come from so different backgrounds, and we're actually having a dialogue, and all of us are learning so much from each other. So.
Hello, welcome everyone. At the panel discussion versus debate prepared by participants of Solidarity Academy Baltic Sea Youth Dialogue, and wish you good luck.
First of all, thank you for joining us. Today we are going to talk about solidarity. Is it still relevant in the 21st century? And the first question was, what is solidarity? How we can define solidarity nowadays? It is feeling. It is it is empathy. And Helen, what was your word? Unity. And unity.
And I suppose we can close our panel. Yeah.
I just have 2 words to ask. To be sincere, I voted no. But now I've changed my mind because of this discussion.
Even more relevant in the 21st century than it was before. We are facing challenges which are huge, and I feel that even if in many cases it would be the job of the state to jump in, it doesn't. So my point is it's even more relevant. Of course it's not the solution of everything, but it can move a lot, and it can put a certain pressure on people who can really change something.
So, and we decided to distribute information. Firstly, we thought about some candies with a website on it. I mean, a website page.
We also thought about toilet.
Even about the money. I mean, a printing website page on a bill, on a bank note.
Participants of the Solidarity Academy are preparing an idea for a project which can be funded or co-funded, supported by the project, and might be implemented until the end of the year. It is a little competition within our project. They're supposed to think of an idea that addresses the values of solidarity, journalist ethics, and current social issues and social change. Most of them are really experienced and very empathic, so I think it's a really great opportunity to have some great projects and connections.
regions.